So recently, there were 17 leaked characters revealed for Marvel's Avengers by a creator I enjoy named Sanders Presents. Those leaked characters include Ant-Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Falcon, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Mar-Vell, Mockingbird, Scarlet Witch, She-Hulk, Vision, War Machine, Wasp, and the Winter Soldier. Contrary to what a lot of people think, I'm very excited for Marvel's Avengers, so I'm going to attempt to make a video series on all of these leaked heroes, detailing their movesets, abilities, story aspects, villains, cosmetics, and locations. Starting with Ant-Man. As most people know, Ant-Man's main ability is using Pym particles to shrink and grow at will. His moveset will follow the same principles. Similar to characters like Iron Man and Black Widow, Ant-Man will have multiple different attack styles to work with: normal, mini, and giant. The first is the most basic and boring, which is Ant-Man being normal size and fighting normally. This is the most balanced of the three styles. Ant-Man will use a series of basic attacks similar to someone like Captain America. He won't do the most damage or have the most health in this form, so it's recommended to switch to one of his other two forms. Ant-Man's second form of combat is Mini Mode. This sees Hank Pym shrinking to the size of an ant. While small, Ant-Man does more damage to enemies and is very fast, so it'll be hard to hit him. But the downside is that he won't have very much health in this mode. So if an enemy were to hit him, it wouldn't take much to take him out. The last form of basic combat is Giant Mode. Giant Mode sees Ant-Man becoming, giant. While giant, Ant-Man has much more health and does a lot more damage than normal. But the downside is that he's incredibly slow. So, those are the three basic hand attack styles that you would use with Ant-Man, and of course, those styles would have their own respective heavy and light attack animations. For a ranged attack, I was thinking Hank could throw some shrinking discs that turn enemies small. It does the same thing as it does in the base game, by turning enemies small, but with Ant-Man, it's not locked by gear, and it's guaranteed to occur to enemies, making them small. As for Traversal, I think Ant-Man would summon a winged ant and have flying controls similar like Iron Man. Right? Every character in Marvel's Avengers has three special abilities they can use. They have a support ability, an assault, and a heroic ability. The support ability helps allies in battle, assault being a quick way to kill one or two enemies, and heroic being their signature ability, which can clear multiple enemies. Ant-Man's support ability would have a swarm of ants distract all nearby enemies and do some damage as well. This will give your allies a chance to retreat if things get too hot, similar to the way Hulk's support ability does. As for Hank's assault, it may be a little too intense, but I really like the idea of it. So basically what this is Ant-Man throws a specialty disc that sends basic to mid-tier enemies into the Microverse or Quantum Realm or whatever they call it in this game. I don't know what the licensing will be, but this would completely remove them from the battlefield. The only problem with this is that it's very overpowered, so I decided to limit it to basic, to mid-tier enemies to make it a little less OP, so if you were to use it on a boss or something, it wouldn't kill them immediately, it would just shrink them normally. The last special ability for Ant-Man is his heroic. When Ant-Man activates his heroic ability, he would summon a giant ant to assist the team. Think of like a Bob from Overwatch if you play that game. Ant-Man can tell the ant. He could tell it when to attack specific enemies. He could tell it to ram specific enemies, and the ant doesn't have a specific time period. Kind of like Iron Man's Hulkbuster, you have like 25 seconds, and then you're done. Ant-Man's ant has a health bar. Once the ant dies, there will be a considerably long wait to recharge the ability, but it lasts until it dies. Yeah, that's pretty much it for abilities. Now let's move on to outfits. Ant-Man's been around for 58 years, so I think I've chosen some of the most iconic and best outfits to choose from. So his base suit for the game, I think it'll probably be more inspired from his MCU appearances, just because of the fact that that's more marketable to a wider audience in comparison to maybe making a suit like his classic red, white, or red, black, and blue suit, which isn't as known to general audiences. I think they would make his classic, first appearance skin, right? But then the base suit would look more akin to like an Endgame suit, right? He would also have the Goliath and the classic Giant Man suits. He'd have the Yellow Jacket suit. He'd have the civilian suit that we see in the reveal trailer from way back a year and a half ago. They could also include the MCU appearances from the 2015 movie Civil War, Endgame / Ant-Man and the Wasp. They could also include the Quantum Realm suit that he wears in Endgame and that everybody wears in Endgame. So maybe it'd be kind of cool to have everybody, wear or that wore one of those suits in Endgame to maybe have one of those suits. I think that'd be pretty cool. Have everybody suit up in their Quantum Realm outfits. And yeah, that's pretty much it for outfits. Of course, they could add a lot more obscure and reskins and things like that, which they probably will do. Now on to story and the locations. So I believe the story will revolve around famed Marvel villain Ultron. He was found in the game files already, so it only makes sense to add Ultron with Ant-Man. As in the comics, Ant-Man created Ultron. So the Ultron storyline, it'd be a long-lasting campaign similar to the Reassemble campaign from the base game. This campaign will have a few characters released with it over time, including Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch, maybe Quicksilver, though he isn't found in the game files, and Wasp and Vision. All of these characters have strong connections to Ultron and Ant-Man. Hence, Ant-Man creates Ultron, Vision is created from Ultron, Vision falls in love with Scarlet Witch, and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are siblings. And I'll get to Wasp in a second. All of their stories connect with each other, so it makes sense to release them one after another in a massive, maybe 6-month-long event called the Age of Ultron. Differing from the movie Age of Ultron, though, instead of dropping a city onto the Earth like an idiot, maybe Ultron would use his power of technology to turn off the world's internet and power capabilities, maybe. So it would force the Avengers to go old school to take him down without using, Iron Man's massive array of technology or the base of operations, the helicarrier. Couldn't think of the name. And then this is where the new region comes in that I was thinking of. I was thinking that maybe they could add the microverse / quantum realm, once again, whatever they want to call it, licensing issues. In order to escape Ultron, the Avengers would make a portal to the microverse, as it's one of the only places Ultron would be able to find them, or wouldn't be able to find them. While there, the Avengers would fight off many new kinds of micro enemies, and maybe even to connect with the MCU fans, right? They would add Janet Van Dyne, aka the Wasp, and while in the microverse, she would come up with the eventual way to defeat Ultron. And while you're in the microverse, it would offer a whole range of interesting places to explore and add so much more diversity in terms of the game's level design, which I think from playing the beta is desperately needed. And then the story would end with the Avengers defeating Ultron at a heavy cost, which would lead the world into speculation as if the Avengers should be allowed anymore, but ultimately they will be leading in to the next storyline, which I'll get into in a later video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's part one of the series on the leaked characters for Marvel's Avengers. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.